The Miami International Airport buzzed with the restless energy of Memorial Day weekend, 2025. The terminal was a kaleidoscope of motion, families dragging suitcases, business travelers tapping impatiently at their phones, and sunburned tourists in flip-flops weaving through the chaos. Outside, the Florida sun beat down, the air heavy with 85-degree humidity that clung to the skin like a second shirt. American flags hung at half-mast above the check-in counters, a solemn nod to the holiday honoring fallen soldiers. A Starbucks kiosk hummed near the security line, its baristas slinging iced lattes to a queue of bleary-eyed travelers. Overhead, a jumbotron flashed highlights from last night's Miami Heat game, the crowd's roar echoing faintly through the terminal, grounding the scene in the pulse of American sports culture. It was a day of pride, travel, and anticipation. But for one man, it was something else entirely, a race against time. Keanu Reeves, 60, stepped through the sliding glass doors alone, his presence as unassuming as the worn leather jacket draped over his shoulders. Sunglasses perched low on his nose, shielding eyes that carried the weight of too many late nights and too few goodbyes. His dark jeans and scuffed boots blended into the crowd, and a black baseball cap shadowed his face, hiding the features that could spark a frenzy in any other setting. Over his shoulder, a 15-pound duffel bag hung heavy, its contents sparse but precious: a passport, a change of clothes, and a folded letter, its edges softened from being handled too many times. The letter was from his mother, Ellen, her frail handwriting a quiet plea for him to come home to Manila. Keanu's chest tightened at the thought. He hadn't seen her in a year, hadn't been there for her last birthday, caught up in a film shoot in Vancouver that felt meaningless now. Her words, penned in shaky ink, haunted him. Stay true, Keanu, even when the world pushes back. He was here to keep that promise, to say goodbye before it was too late. No press knew of his trip. No one outside his closest circle even knew Ellen was sick. That's how he wanted it, just a sun, not a star, slipping through the world unnoticed. The terminal's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as Keanu approached the check-in counter, his steps measured, deliberate. A memory flickered, unbidden. Ellen, years ago, teaching him to tie his shoes in their small Honolulu apartment, her laughter warm as she said, "Kindness is your strength. Keanu, never lose it." He blinked it away, focusing on the clerk ahead, a young woman with a practiced smile. "Next, please," she called, her voice cutting through the din. Keanu slid his passport across the counter, keeping his voice low, almost a murmur. 2 bags, 1 carry-on. The clerk glanced at the name, her eyes widening for a split second. "Mr. Reeves," she said, recovering quickly. "You're all set. Gate 42C. Safe travels." He nodded, taking his boarding pass, and turned toward the security checkpoint, 50 feet away, where a line snaked past a row of American flag pins for sale. But something felt off. A prickling instinct, honed over decades of walking into rooms where people already judged him, tightened his chest. He glanced to his left. A TSA officer, mid-40s, with a tight buzz cut and a jaw clenched like he was chewing through steel, stared at him. Not the casual scan of a bored patrolman, but a focused, probing glare, heavy with suspicion. Keanu's eyes met his briefly, offering a polite nod, hoping to diffuse whatever this was. He didn't want trouble, not today, not with Ellen's time slipping away. But the officer's hand rested on his radio, his lips moving as he muttered something, his gaze never leaving Keanu. At the security line, the energy shifted. Travelers shuffled forward, tossing laptops and liquids into bins. Keanu placed his duffel on the conveyor, the letter inside weighing heavier than its 15 pounds. The metal detector beeped as he passed through, his steel toe boots triggering the alarm. "Sir, step aside," a TSA agent said. Her tone clipped but routine. Keanu complied silently, removing his shoes and belt. His bag opened for inspection. Everything was clean. No contraband, no issues. Yet the officer from before, badge reading Tom Harlan, appeared, his posture rigid. Hand on his baton. "Sir, I need to speak with you," Harlan said. No introduction, no smile. Already reaching for Keanu's arm. "I've done nothing wrong," Keanu said. His voice calm but firm, eyes narrowing just a fraction. "You're acting suspicious," Harlan snapped, his voice loud enough to draw stares. "And you're profiling me," Keanu replied, steady. Though the air grew thick with tension, phones emerged from pockets, cameras flashing. Harlan's grip tightened, and without warning, he shoved Keanu hard. The tile floor met Keanu's ribs. 10 feet from the checkpoint, the impact stealing his breath. Harlan's knee pressed into his back. 200 pounds of force pinning him down. "Stay down," Harlan barked, baton half-drawn, knuckles white. Keanu's lungs strained, his voice a raw whisper. "I'm just trying to see my mom," the crowd gasped, a murmur rippling through the terminal. A man in a Miami Heat cap stopped. Phone raised, recording. A woman shouted, "What's wrong with you?" Then, a small voice cut through the chaos, louder than any alarm. "That's Keanu Reeves, a 10-year-old girl, Lily Carter, with curly blonde hair and wide, fearless eyes, stood just beyond the security tape, pointing. Her mother, Sarah Carter, a nurse in her late 30s, pushed forward, panic in her eyes. "Lily, stay back," but Lily's shout froze Harlan, his face draining of color. He looked down at Keanu, then at the crowd, phones capturing every second. The duffel bag lay spilled open nearby. Ellen's letter fluttering out, her words exposed, "Come home." Keanu. Sarah reached the tape, her hands trembling but her voice steady. "Get off him. He's not a threat." The crowd's outrage grew, a chorus of voices demanding Harlan stop. A pilot in a crisp uniform tried to intervene, only to be blocked by another guard. Keanu, cheek pressed to the cold tile, met Lily's gaze. Her fists were balled, her fear mixed with defiance. Harlan's knee eased slightly, his baton slipping back to his belt. The realization hit him like a freight train. He'd just humiliated a legend in front of a terminal full of cameras. The video was already uploading. Justice for Keanu sparking across social media. Keanu's ribs ached, but his resolve hardened. This wasn't just about him anymore. Something bigger was at play, and he could feel it in his bones. In a stark security office at Miami International Airport, Keanu Reeves stood, ribs aching from Tom Harlan's shove, as Security Chief Maria Delgado slid a folder across a metal table. "Mr. Reeves, I apologize for what happened," she said, her voice measured but tense. "But your name's flagged on a DHS watch list, Keanu Reeves, linked to cybercrime." Keanu's eyes narrowed, the 15-pound duffel bag still heavy on his shoulder. Ellen's letter inside a quiet anchor. Delgado opened the folder, revealing a grainy 1998 photo. Keanu, younger, in a conference room beside a sharp-eyed woman, Elena Voss, his former tech partner. "One meeting," Keanu said, stomach sinking. "And now this." Delgado nodded. "She's a crypto kingpin now, running a $50 million exchange in Miami. She blames you for a failed startup in '98, cost her $10 million and her reputation. This flag, it's her doing to force your hand." Keanu's jaw tightened. Elena's revenge was personal, and she wanted him to hack her exchange, a shadow vault for dirty money. Delgado turned to Harlan, still flushed from the terminal incident. "You're benched, Tom. 48 hours, pending internal affairs." Harlan stormed out, slamming the door, his suspension a nod to the accountability Americans demanded. Outside, the Justice for Keanu hashtag, sparked by a bystander in a Miami Dolphins cap, surged to 300,000 posts. Videos of Harlan's aggression trending nationwide. The public's outrage was Keanu's shield, but Elena's shadow loomed larger. At Gate 42C, Keanu boarded his Manila flight, pain flaring with each step. In seat 12A, he sat near Lily Carter and her mother, Sarah, who clutched Lily's crayon drawing of "Be Safe." A man in a Patriots hoodie watched Keanu, eyes cold and operative. He sensed, mid-flight, at 35,000 feet, DHS agent Rachel Bennett approached, her badge glinting. "Elena Voss flagged you," she said, voice low. "She's tied to a Miami port heist." Ever work with her? Keanu's voice was steel. "One meeting. 20 years ago." I walked away. Bennett's eyes flickered. "She's not done with you." The crisis erupted as masked hijackers seized the plane, guns drawn, demanding Keanu hack Elena's exchange. Her voice crackled through a phone. "You cost me $10 million. Keanu, open my vault, or Lily pays." Keanu stalled, fingers dancing over a tablet, accessing the plane's systems via old back doors he'd coded. Red lights flashed. A lockdown engaged. The pilot's voice boomed, fighter jets inbound, 100 miles out. Sarah bandaged a passenger's wound, her nurse's hand steady, while Lily dropped her drawing, distracting a hijacker. Keanu swung a tray table, cracking a gunman's jaw, his ribs screaming under 180 pounds of strain. The plane landed safely. But Elena's real plan, a $50 million port heist 5 miles away, unfolded, pulling Keanu into a high-speed chase to stop her. Keanu Reeves limped toward Gate 42C at Miami International Airport, each step sending a dull ache through his ribs, bruised from Tom Harlan's shove. The Memorial Day weekend crowd swirled around him, the terminal's 85-degree armor of heat lingering in his leather jacket, his 15-pound duffel bag, heavy with Ellen's letter, pressed against his shoulder as he boarded the Manila-bound flight, desperate to reach his dying mother. In seat 12A, he sank into the worn cushion, sunglasses low, shielding his face from curious glances. Nearby, Lily Carter, the 10-year-old who'd called out Harlan, sat with her mother, Sarah Carter, a nurse whose steady hands betrayed no fear. Lily caught Keanu's eye and slipped him a crayon drawing. "Be safe," scrawled in shaky letters across a sketch of a plane. Her small act of defiance stirred something in Keanu, a reminder of Ellen's words. "Stay true." He tucked the drawing into his pocket, nodding at Sarah, whose quiet strength mirrored his own resolve. The cabin hummed as passengers settled, the Jumbotron's Miami heat recap fading in Keanu's mind. But unease prickled his neck. Across the aisle, a man in a Patriots hoodie stared, his gaze too sharp for a casual traveler. Keanu's instincts, honed over decades, whispered Elena's operative. The Justice for Keanu hashtag, now at 300,000 posts after a Dolphins fan's viral video, had made him a target. Elena Voss, his former tech partner who'd lost $10 million when he refused her startup, had rigged the DHS watchlist to trap him. Her plan of $50 million crypto exchange hack loomed, and Keanu was her key. At 35,000 feet, the cabin lights dimmed, and DHS agent Rachel Bennett, 30s, her badge clipped to her blazer, approached. "Mr. Reeves," she said, voice low. "Elena Voss flagged you as Keanu Reeves. She's tied to a Miami port heist. $50 million in cargo." Keanu's jaw clenched. "I walked away from tech 20 years ago," he said, his tone ice cold. Bennett's eyes flickered with ambiguity. "She's not done with you." Her cryptic warning hung heavy, like the 15-pound bag at his feet. Keanu glanced at Lily, clutching Sarah's hand, and the Patriots hoodie man, now whispering into an earpiece. Tension coiled tighter. Sarah, sensing the shift, leaned closer, her nurse's calm unshaken. "You okay?" she whispered. Keanu nodded, but Bennett's words echoed. Elena's reach was long. Her revenge, personal. The plane banked slightly, 100 miles from the coast, and Keanu's fingers brushed Lily's drawing. He wasn't just a passenger anymore. He was a hunted man, and the fight was coming. Outside, the Bosch Justice for Keanu movement swelled, a chorus of support. But in the air, Keanu faced Elena's shadow alone, with Lily and Sarah as his only allies. At 35,000 feet above the Atlantic, the Manila-bound flight shuddered into chaos as four masked hijackers stormed the cabin, their black tactical gear stark against the dim lights. Pistols drawn, they barked orders, one shoving a passenger back into his seat, another ripping the emergency phone from a flight attendant's trembling hands. Keanu Reeves, in seat 12A, shielded Lily Carter, the 10-year-old who'd called out his name at Miami International Airport. Her mother, Sarah Carter, a nurse, pulled Lily close, her eyes sharp with resolve. The lead hijacker, a towering figure with cold eyes, stopped at Keanu's row, tossing a sleek black phone onto his tray table. "Pick it up," he growled. Gun raised. Keanu's ribs, bruised from TSA officer Tom Harlan's earlier shove, ached with each breath, but his focus was steel. He pressed the phone's button, and a familiar voice crackled through. Elena Voss, his former tech partner turned crypto kingpin. "You cost me $10 million, Keanu," she hissed. "Now open my $50 million vault, or Lily pays." Keanu stalled, his mind racing. The 15-pound duffel bag at his feet held Ellen's letter, grounding him. He recognized the tablet the hijacker shoved into his hands, an interface for Elena's Miami-based crypto exchange, a shadow vault for criminal billions. His fingers, guided by 20-year-old coding skills, danced over the screen, but he wasn't unlocking her vault. He accessed the plane's auxiliary systems, exploiting backdoors he'd built in his tech days. Sarah, across the aisle, tended a wounded passenger, her nurse's hands steady as she bandaged a gash from a stray bullet, whispering. "Stay with me." Lily, clutching her "Be Safe" drawing, dropped it deliberately, the paper fluttering to distract a hijacker pacing nearby. The gunman turned, cursing, giving Keanu a split-second window. He tapped the final command. Red lights flashed overhead, alarms blaring as the plane's lockdown protocol engaged, sealing cabin pressure doors. The pilot's voice boomed, "Fighter jets inbound from Key West. 100 miles out. Stay calm." The hijackers panicked, one lunging for the cockpit. But Keanu was faster. He snapped his tray table free, swinging it like a club, cracking the lead hijacker's jaw. The gun clattered to the floor, and Keanu dove, snatching it midair, his ribs screaming under 180 pounds of strain. Sarah's eyes met his, a nod of trust, while Lily huddled beneath a blanket. The cabin erupted, passengers screamed, but hope flickered. Keanu aimed the pistol. Voice low, "Back off." The remaining hijackers froze as jet streaks lit the sky outside, 100 miles closing fast. Elena's voice screeched through the phone. "What did you do?" Keanu didn't answer. He'd saved the plane, but Elena's $50 million port heist, 5 miles from Miami, loomed next. At 35,000 feet, Keanu Reeves turned the tide. With a tray table snapped free, he cracked one hijacker's jaw, blood spraying as the man staggered. Seizing a dropped pistol, Keanu fired, clipping a second hijacker's leg, his ribs screaming under 180 pounds of strain from Tom Harlan's earlier shove. The Manila-bound plane's lockdown, triggered by Keanu's hack, held firm as fighter jets closed in, 100 miles out. The pilot's voice steadied the chaos. "We're landing in Miami." The plane touched down hard, tires screeching on the tarmac, 5 miles from Miami's port. Keanu, clutching Lily Carter's "Be Safe" drawing, shielded her and Sarah Carter as SWAT teams swarmed. But Agent Rachel Bennett's urgent whisper revealed the twist. The hijacking was a diversion. Elena Voss is hitting the port. $50 million in cargo. Now. Keanu's heart raced. Elena Voss, his ex-tech partner who'd lost $10 million when he rejected her startup, had orchestrated this to force his hand. Now. Lily was missing, taken by Elena's crew to the port. Keanu faced a gut-wrenching choice: chase Elena to stop the heist or rescue Lily, held hostage in a warehouse 5 miles away. He chose both. Stealing a black motorcycle from the airport lot, he roared through Miami's neon-lit streets, hitting 90 miles/hour, weaving past cars under a 75-degree dawn. The city blurred palm trees, neon signs, a distant Miami heat billboard, his ribs throbbing with each turn. At the port, cranes loomed 200 feet high, cargo containers stacked like a maze. Keanu spotted Elena's crew, loading $50 million in tech chips onto a getaway ship. Lily's cries echoed from a nearby warehouse. His mind flashed to Ellen's letter, "Stay true," using a stolen tablet. Keanu hacked the ship's navigation system, his fingers flying over code he'd written decades ago. The ship's engines sputtered, stranding the crew. A guard raised his gun, but Keanu dove behind a container, firing back, his shot grazing the man's arm. Sprinting 100 feet to the warehouse, he found Lily, tied up but unharmed, her eyes wide with trust. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. Keanu cut her free, but Elena's voice crackled over a radio. "You'll pay." Keanu. He rigged the ship's systems to lock the crew inside, sirens wailing as Coast Guard boats closed in. 2 miles out, carrying Lily. He reunited her with Sarah, who'd arrived with police, her nurses calm, anchoring them. The port glowed under floodlights. Justice for Keanu, now at 500,000 posts. Fans cheering beyond the gates. Keanu's hack had stopped Elena's heist, but her escape meant the fight wasn't over. Clutching Lily's drawing, he steeled himself for what came next. The Miami dawn broke over the port, painting the sky a soft pink as the temperature settled at 75 degrees Celsius. Towering cranes, 200 feet high, stood silhouetted against the horizon, their steel frames casting long shadows across the tarmac. Keanu Reeves knelt beside Lily Carter, the 10-year-old whose courage had sparked a movement, cutting the ropes binding her wrists in a dimly lit warehouse. Her wide eyes, brimming with trust, met his. "I knew you'd come," she whispered, her voice trembling but strong. Keanu managed a faint smile, his ribs still aching from the 180-pound pressure of the fight hours earlier. He lifted her gently, her small frame light against his battered body, and stepped into the floodlights. Sarah Carter, her mother, ran forward, her nurse's hands trembling as she enveloped Lily in a fierce embrace. "You're safe," Sarah sobbed, then turned to Keanu, eyes red but steady. "Thank you." Keanu nodded, clutching the crumpled "Be Safe" drawing Lily had given him, its crayon lines now a talisman of their shared survival. Beyond the port's gates, a crowd had gathered, their cheers swelling as police escorted Elena Voss in handcuffs. Keanu's hack, executed at 90 mph on a stolen motorcycle through Miami's neon-lit streets, had crippled her getaway ship's navigation, exposing her $50 million crypto network to the FBI. Her empire, built on the $10 million loss she blamed Keanu for 2 decades ago, crumbled as agents swarmed, seizing servers 5 miles from the port. The Yachun Justice for Keanu hashtag, born from a Miami Dolphins fan's viral video of Tom Harlan's airport assault, hit 1 million posts, a digital wave of support that echoed from Miami to Main Street, USA. Fans chanted Keanu's name, holding signs that read, "Hero of Miami," their voices a testament to American unity in the face of injustice. Keanu stood under the floodlights, his leather jacket torn, Ellen's letter heavy in his pocket. A call from Manila confirmed his worst fear: his mother had passed during the crisis. Her final moments alone. The weight of missing her last birthday crushed him. But her words stay true. Keanu burned brighter. He'd kept his promise. Not by reaching her bedside, but by protecting Lily, Sarah, and countless others from Elena's greed. In that moment, he made a choice, donating $1 million of his own money. Keanu founded the Ellen Reeves Foundation, a beacon for cybercrime victims, ensuring no one else would suffer as he had under Elena's schemes. The announcement, shared on social media, sparked 100,000 retweets, with fans pledging support, their donations measured in dollars, a currency of hope. The lessons were profound. Resilience, forged in Keanu's quiet endurance of Harlan's profiling and Elena's threats, showed that strength lies in staying calm under pressure. Kindness, embodied in Lily's drawing and Sarah's care for wounded passengers at 35,000 feet, proved that small acts ripple outward, uniting strangers in crisis. Redemption, found in Keanu's choice to honor Ellen through action, taught that even loss can birth purpose. These truths, rooted in American values of perseverance and community, resonated with the crowd. Their cheers a reminder that one person's stand can inspire a nation. As Keanu walked away, Sarah and Lily beside him. A burner phone in his pocket buzzed an unknown number. A faint echo of Elena's voice, suggesting her network lingered. He silenced it, focusing on the present. Turning to the crowd, he raised a hand, voice hoarse but clear. "Thank you, all of you, for standing with me. Your support, your voices made this possible. Keep spreading kindness. And if you believe in this fight, join us. Subscribe to the cause. Share the story. Keep it alive." His words, a nod to the Justice for Keanu movement, echoed across social media. Fans urging others to follow the Foundation's channel. Their clicks a digital roar. Keanu stepped into the sunrise, Lily's drawing in one hand, Ellen's letter in the other. "I kept my promise." "Mom," he whispered, the 75-degree breeze carrying his words. The port faded behind him. Helicopters buzzing 1,000 feet overhead. Sirens 2 miles distant. Elena was gone, but her shadow lingered. A subtle hook for what might come. Yet Keanu wasn't running. He'd faced profiling, hijackers, and loss, emerging not as a celebrity, but as a protector. The crowd's cheers, now 1,000 strong, followed him, a testament to a man who'd turned pain into purpose. The Ellen Reeves Foundation would grow, its $1 million seed a promise to fight cybercrime, honoring Ellen's legacy. Keanu's silhouette stretched long against the concrete, a symbol of resilience, kindness, and redemption, a hero forged in crisis, backed by a nation's voice.